All right, good morning. Good evening, good night. NFT live on the Web3 network. Howdy is right. Extinct, we see you there in the house, and we see Gifted here with a handy dandy cowboy hat. I didn't even know they made cowboy hats out in LA. They do that?
Well, you know I'm from Texas originally, Q.
Oh,
so
shit. Damn.
why are you throwing shade, my guy?
Throwing more than that. Sorry, I'm getting this started here. I'm doing some housekeeping. Yeah, folks, sorry we started late. We got off the GM Web3 show a little bit late today, but it's nice to see everyone. Dawn Sun, AA with the question mark, Nox Darkness, Extinct, Prodigy. You guys are tuning in, and I appreciate that. Even amidst massive FUD. We'll take a look at the network here.
Yeehaw, Nifty Q. Yeehaw. We just out here in the wild, wild web. It's crazy out here. It's dangerous. You never know. Might get that cholera, the dysentery. Might get bit by a rattlesnake.
You know what? I'm getting about tired of social media getting after us here. YouTube and now Twitter. So if you don't, I'm going to drop this in chat. If you guys want to check this out, go and see if you've been shadow banned by our overlord Elon Musk here. But this is getting at me today. We already had to deal with YouTube on Monday saying, nope, you can't stream. We're taking away your livelihood here. And now Twitter. So type in Twitter, your Twitter handle here. So I'm typing in Nifty Q. Let's see what it comes up with. It says I don't even exist now, GIF. Like is
that your actual handle though?
It is.
It's just Nifty Q.
It happens to be. There it is. I'm search suggestion banned. Hopefully you're not. There at home.
I definitely am. Howdy.
Let's see Gifted. Let's type in Gifted here. So you exist. You at least exist.
Praise Jeebus. I exist. I wasn't sure until right now, honestly.
Yeah, so go to shadowban.uriza or yuzuariza.com. Figure out if you're shadow banned for life. Look, we just got tossed that in chat. I think Squashman was the one to bring it up on GM Web3. And, I kind of dove deep while Gifted was hosting the show. I was like, well, let me type the usernames of literally everyone here, and let's see what happens. You know who's not shadow banned? Bankless.
China.
You know what I mean? Like, of course Bankless is not shadow banned. You know what I mean? I just it had to be. It had to be. Extinct is saying I'm shadow banned from the search bar. Choin is saying I need to up my spam game. I'm all Choin is all green? Wow. Somebody made it. Somebody made it unscathed. All right, this is what we're doing here early on NFT Live. Up or down is the question of the day. That seems to be like where we're at with the market is like, hey, we had that initial reaction to SEC Coinbase. That feels like already last week. It was yesterday, folks. The SEC sued Coinbase yesterday and Binance the day before that. Obviously, the markets didn't respond favorably, at least initially, but then they bounced back up. But today is a trying day. Today, as you can see, I don't know if you can see over there in the right-hand corner, but we essentially dipped off a cliff, recovered to the same price post-news, and now we're at a very tenuous state of like, is this going to hold? Are we going to bump off the top from here? So up or down, that's the real question for today. The others are going to be covering some BAYC volume surging due to a lot of that's due to Blur. Louis Vuitton, Treasure Trunk, Puma, Gutter Cat Gang. So slow on the news day from the NFT side. And I guess we're deciphering where the Gutter Cat Gang is coming back, GIF.
Yeah. Can they undo their last 2 or 3 collection drops?
I don't know. We're going to find out. Mass Majors, nice to see you. Our vibe, our tribe. Liquidity is key in these markets. That is one interesting thing to see about the Bored Ape Yacht Club piece. I'm going to pull up an NFT statistics tweet here in a second. But there's been a metric ton of volume on BAYCs. 150 BAYC dumped into bids in the last 14 hours. In 14 hours, 150 of one of the most expensive assets in the NFT space has been sent into bids. Floor has moved less than 1 ETH. Look, that's the benefit of liquidity for sure. Almost all dumps from the Blend wallet because trades from Blend wallet pay no royalties. Has the impact of making BAYC bid lend points a lot higher than other projects. So this seems to be, have other incentive mechanics laced into why 150 BAYC were dumped. Did you see this news before we get started?
About Cointelegraph?
No, the BAYC piece.
No. I'm just sharing a tweet, though, that just Squatchman just tweeted at us about updates on the Binance front. But no, I did not see what's going on with BAYC.
Like at all? Did you catch the piece that I just read out?
Well, the part about like a bunch of them getting sold and that not really impacting the floor much because of liquidity. Yeah, I was following all that.
Yeah, let's see. I'm gonna bring up Bored Ape Yacht Club here, 46. So it really hasn't moved. Again, 150 BAYCs from a Blend wallet have dumped into the market. So definitely a positive on the liquidity side, but Blend seems to be up to its normal games. We know how those negative effects can affect some collections. But yeah, we're just getting started here today, folks. The Choin is saying the SEC taking a day off today. Doubtful.
The world's crazy right now, y'all. And we're out here every day doing our best to make sense of it and bring free, valuable content to y'all. So if you don't mind going on down there to that bottom corner, throwing a like at us, hitting that thumbs up button, we would really, really appreciate it. And also, please remember that nothing that we talk about here is financial advice because we're not financial advisors. But just know that if we're going to survive this winter, we got to do it together, and we could really use your help getting this content out to more people because the algorithms hate us. We know that. YouTube is not on our side. Twitter apparently is not on our side. When I tried to just go search NFT live on Twitter, it didn't even pop up at all. Like,
yeah, that's nowhere. The search ban. So
if you
nowhere. Gifted's the same. There's a dude named Real Gifted or something. I'm gonna
really
throw this up. I'm gonna throw this up really quick. I was gonna bring up this NFT inspect, but let's go. Gifted. Really Gifted comes up. So
it's not me. I mean, that is me, but that is not my main Twitter.
That's not you though. That is you?
Yeah.
Wait, what is Really Gifted?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe like an old handle or somebody else faking me.
Wait, yeah, that's your picture? Like actually?
Oh yeah, that is me.
Someone's faking you? We just found this out?
Maybe. Yeah.
Wow.
But that's not my hand. Like, yeah, Really Gifted is not my handle. Just Gifted is my handle. So
yikes.
Yikes, my guy.
Marty's saying Yuga got 0 royalties on those 150 sales. Yes, they did. That is an unfortunate reality. I've paid my due into Yuga. What content would each of you do if not this show and podcast? We all know GIF would do OnlyFans. What about you two?
I don't know. Give me a second. I'm going to refocus real quick.
Give me a second. That might be... that would be potentially more lucrative. Let's be honest. From the things I've heard about OnlyFans, not that from a friend, that would be lucrative. I'd probably do game streaming. Like if I really had to do it, I would love to do. Like I would come back in another life as like a sports jockey, like sports radio hosting because I love the Cowboys so much that I would like try to be a commentator on the Cowboys. Yeah, I would love to do some of that. What content would you?
I don't know if there's as much money in OnlyFans for dudes as there is for women, frankly. But maybe
if you're in the top 1%,
I guess.
All right, weird start to this day's show here. Yeah. We got an NFT inspect here. So we've been using NFT inspect to track Twitter sentiment. If you've been here on these shows, you've seen us pull up this chart where you can essentially see PFPs per NFT. And that's real. I mean, there's community reach, there's unique PFPs, floor price, all that stuff that's being tracked. But really, the PFPs per NFT is one sentiment tracker that we like to keep up with on NFT Inspect. Now they have this whole other service, but it seems like they're building out their entire platform a little bit more. You can see NFT Inspect token, igniting a new era of community empowerment, revamped interface, enhanced product suite, innovative DAOs. And this is why it's kind of making the rounds here this week, is there's a council, essentially, an NFT Inspect council. You can see right there, Wab's already on it, Whale.swoosh, Elena, and Franklin, his board, is making a comeback. So you know it's making its rounds in the Twitter sphere. But really, this is the first time that I'm seeing NFT Inspect like talk about a token, INSP, obviously short for Inspect. But I thought this was worthy of talking about. You can see that they've got, looks like they have an interface they're looking at too on Twitter. So yeah, anyways, the token itself is one thing that I'm super interested in here. It says coming soon. Obviously, none of this is financial advice, but that's the first I'm hearing about it.
Yeah, I had not heard about it. Obviously, they are a competitor to our favorite platform, NFTGO, but they do also do analytics, and they have, they have the sentiment, the like social or the PFP aspect that I like a lot.
Have you all been keeping up with your NFT Inspect Zeely quests? No, I have not. We don't use NFT Inspect other than, again, that Twitter sentiment. I would love to see NFTGO add that, actually. Like the PFPs.
I know. I was bringing that up to their co-founder the other night when I was meeting him.
And to his response?
Yeah, I mean, they see the issue is like trying to overlay multiple different metrics on top of each other to get more valuable insights, right? So it's like you can get raw data, but like the real value is in how are you applying that data to make it actionable. And, overlaying sentiment or other qualitative metrics along with the quantitative and like the volume and all those types of things, I think would be a huge win. So to me, it's like whatever platform can kind of crack that first is going to have a massive leg up. Like giving you more accurate and more valuable
within the interface of Twitter,
or within Twitter or not, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I do think within the Twitter interface is cool, and that's one of the things I love about NFTGO. The NFTGO has a free Twitter extension that's massively valuable that I use. It's just plugged into my desktop. I see it on Twitter constantly, giving me updates of what's happening. It's one of the best ways to stay up to date.
Okay, we've got a piece of breaking news that we want to cover. About it looks like 8 hours ago, we got a notice that U.S. courts grant requests to freeze assets of Binance subsidiaries in the U.S., and it looks like Binance U.S. is freezing trading pairs. So there's a conversation around custody within this as well. Like, interested if any of y'all are using Binance U.S., this is not financial advice. We're not financial advisors, but I would be very wary of keeping crypto on exchanges right now. I can tell you from personal experience in these times, do not have your crypto custodied with anyone but yourself if you can help it. So this is the story here. U.S. court grants a request to freeze assets of Binance. Let's see, June 7th, and here we go. Attention, more than 100 trading pairs to be delisted from Binance US.
Yeah. Yeah, this shit's getting sketchy and ugly for sure. And it's interesting, like there's like seems to be simultaneously a lot of defiance and sort of like positive momentum, but also this isn't good. Like it's hard to also ignore the fact that like the government can make things very, very difficult.
Yeah, I mean, this is where it hurts, right? Like the spigot of assets in the on and off ramps are what they can regulate. Again, that's what we're seeing. So they're attacking it. Obviously, one that sticks out to us again, ApeCoin is on here. That might be one of the reasons you see that going back to pre-announcement or pre-news levels. Synthetics is on here. I don't know. Shout out your bags if you see them. Flow is on here. EOS Curve. Let's see. 1 inch is on here as well. Ren. So I mean, a who's who. I think on this list, right? Storage, Sushi, Wax, and then there's some BTC pairs as well. Uniswap, BTC, Atom, BTC, Tezos, BTC, Polkadot. So really, just a majority of pairs. One thing that keeps coming up that is maybe a bullish sign amongst all the nonsense is that ETH is not a part of any of this.
I mean, ApeCoin, but I mean, like, yeah, ETH itself hasn't been mentioned, but a lot of Ethereum-based tokens are.
Yeah, but ETH specifically is what I'm talking about. ETH and Bitcoin seem to be completely removed from whatever this litigation is.
Well, but again, if those pairs are removed, then you can't move into I don't know. It's fucking messy, right? Like,
if use a DEX to get into BTC or ETH is what the answer is here. So again, this is not financial advice. It would be what I would do is you use a DEX to get into these pairs, and ETH and BTC as assets are not affected by any of this news. That's what seems to be coming back time after time.
Yeah. Yep.
This came out from Coinbase yesterday as well. We ended the episode here talking about Coinbase.
Can we play the Motivate version of this with the bass?
Is there a Motivate version?
Well, he basically just put some funk. He put some funk music over it.
Hold on, send me the link. I'll play that.
All right. Yeah,
I will wait to play that.
It's an even cooler version.
All right, Easy and Crypto's in the house. OVOT, Marty saying, "What's up, Easy? I hope you're well." We echo those statements. Troy is saying, "Happy to once again have Avocacci fly into the radar." That is a good, very interesting, astute observation. Ghost has flown under the radar in a good way. Franklin coming back is not. Let's not get into that. I don't want to put that.
Yeah, he just kind of showed up again, huh?
But
it was like such a big deal.
It was like a month
when he left.
Gone. Gone
it was such a big deal when he left, but then he just kind of showed up, and we didn't really talk about it.
Okay, apparently we have a Motivate. This is an updated remix of the Coinbase announcement yesterday. Let's watch it.
Yeah.
Shout out to Motivate. Yeah, shout out to Motivate for that.
That's creative news jacking at its best. just throw a heavier song with more bass on that video. Retweet it.
I swear I was able to find NFT Live just yesterday, but I'm trying to find the tweet here for y'all, but I got to go through a different route now. So again, I'm going to drop this tweet here in the chat. If y'all can give that a like and a retweet. We're just getting started here on the episode. We pressed live about 15 minutes ago. So good to see everyone here in the house as we begin our day, essentially.
It does look like one of the recommended ways to get rid of a shadow, but like a search ban, is to go silent for 3 to 5 days. But that seems like counterintuitive. Like that doesn't make sense, does it? Like,
where are you seeing? Like, where is that recommendation?
I'm just searching. Like, how do you get out of?
Okay.
Search ban, and there's like a couple different articles like on the Twitter helps. No, that one's not on the Twitter help center, but like Fix number 2, stop using Twitter for a while. It says if you've been using the platform a lot and you notice that your search suggestion banned, then stop using Twitter for 3 to 5 days. Then come back to your account and check if the restriction has disappeared. If not, then the next solution might be key. Delete NSFW offensive content. I don't have any NSFW offensive. I mean, maybe I have some offensive content. I don't have like.
Yeah, go to that website, folks. Honestly, like I would love to see. I know Choina was saying that he's not shadow banned. Let me make sure I pull it up again and link it here in chat. Interested if y'all are, because I'm trying to like put the pieces together of why these certain places. So 2 things, GIF, that I'm looking at related to this are if you post to other platforms. Like if you like a lot of our shows are like posting to YouTube. Obviously. So having a Twitter link for YouTube from Twitter, I could see Twitter being like, oh, we're going to just like search ban those accounts. The other thing is having those accounts interact together, I feel like could be flagged as some type of like, even though it's you should be able to utilize it that way, I feel like they could be like, hey, all of these accounts are kind of like using activity boosting like practices, and then they shadow ban you. So
I don't know, man. It says one of the things that can cause it is if you're like using another third-party platform to like reshare all your types of stuff. But I'm not logged into like a tweet deck or something else like that. So like I honestly don't know. I feel like it's just haters. Honestly, I bet that like if people mute you or whatever, that factors in. I that's what I think it is. I think there's just enough fucking haters that, you know. Because I don't post a bunch of NSFW stuff. I don't have a third party app linked to my account where I'm like retweeting stuff, like anything like that. So anyway,
all right, we're gonna get
to Marty's saying he has to search like every single day to see anything that we do. It doesn't pop up. Yeah, so.
I'm surprised you can search GIF. That's the whole thing. Like it pops up for me. So the spaces pop up for me. What if haters reported non-NSFW content as NSFW content? Joan is saying I corrected that. It was a different checker. Seems like they produce different results. Got it. I have to search.
Turn on notifications for our stuff, especially for Web3, because it might be getting hidden a lot. And honestly, I think that can make a difference is if you actually use the notifications tool on Twitter. So this could be a good reason to go do that if you haven't already, to make sure that you're seeing all the cool stuff that we're doing. So there you go.
That is one thing I did notice when I was in the show this morning. While again you were doing the hosting thing, I was searching other accounts other than people within our ecosystem. Squash is bringing up. I noticed that accounts with 15 to 20K followers are not banned. That feels like those accounts would be more susceptible to people hating and putting some flags up on the account because they're being distributed to more people. I don't know, man, but it is interesting given that, you know, Elon Musk is ostensibly trying to be more transparent about all this stuff. Like, where is is it in the algo that they keep publishing? Can devs do something?
Yeah, can the devs do something, or can we get some clarity on like why this is happening? That would be great. Let us know. Anyway, shout out Easy and Crypto, shout out Airfim, Extinct, Squashman, Marty, Choina, all y'all hanging out with us. Big love to y'all. Appreciate it.
Last housing item that I do have here. We did post that Wild Wild Web episode. We're over 500 downloads already. Like it's only been a month here and it's tough to find podcasting views. Like it's not like YouTube where it's able to be discovered, you know, very easily. So we're over 500 downloads here on the Wild Wild Web. Obviously, we just sat down with the other space FM guys, but we had Cyberkongz, we have Arclegger, and then we talked with Mike Finch about the bullish case for Ethereum. So that has some legs. It's good to see the community turning out. If you guys can get over there and leave a like or I think it's a rating on Spotify, that helps it get out. But yeah, definitely want to bring interesting content. Choina hit me up with some guests that I'm going to be reaching out to and have already reached out to some. The BAGCHECK guys, I'm interested in having on again. It's been about a quarter, which is our consistent podcast interview cycle with them, is try to get them on every quarter. But yeah, if you guys have any guests that you'd like to see on the Wild Wild Web pod, let us know. But it's good to see that success, and we appreciate the support a lot. All right, we're gonna get into the NFTGO bag check here. I'll give them a shout out after we get through the bag check, though. I'm gonna go straight in today because we've been doing a lot of housekeeping. So market sentiment is increasing here over the last 24 hours. So 24 here on the meter, which is still in the cool category. It's going to be really nice the day, like once the bull market comes back. I cannot wait to check out the NFTGO bag check because we didn't do the bag check in the bull market.
It's gonna be so warm and fuzzy. You're just gonna look at that meter and it's just gonna feel like a nice warm blanket or like some sun rays hitting on your body. You're just gonna be like, oh, that vitamin D. It's just getting it.
Look, it's gonna be like an emoji that's sweating. Like this, I don't even know what to expect. Nice. Obviously, we're still in the bear market though. 30 days profit loss. Still not doing very well. We saw that huge dip here. I don't know what this is. I don't know specifically overnight what happened other than that Bored Ape sells.
Yeah, these look like liquidation events, happening on like Blend or something like that. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, that or data somehow is getting messed up because that is a very odd piece there. But over the last 7 days, we are up still in USD. We're still up, I believe, in ETH. Yes, that's looking good. Market cap is again still up. So really, the market cap and volume has been increasing here over the last 30 days. If you zoom out here, maybe I spoke too soon. Against USD there and against ETH. This is on Ethereum, so maybe we're seeing more on like the ordinals front and things like this that is driving the full NFT market volume. Let's go into distribution over the last 24 hours and 7 days. Over the last 24, again, we mentioned to start off this episode that there was 150 sells or buy and sells trades, if you will, of BAYC. That's going to drive that number up to 21.8% of the entire market on Ethereum. Mutant Ape Yacht Club, Azuki, Beans, Sproto Gremlins, Wrapped CryptoPunks, Pudgies, DeGods, CryptoPunks, Opepins to round out the top 10. And then over the last 7 days, Azuki has taken up that top spot. BAYC, Beans, Mutants, Opepin, Captains, DeGods, FF, 6,000, Extreme Pixels, another one that popped up for the first time here. And Sproto Gremlins are rounding out the top collections. Let's zoom in a little bit, though. We can go to the 24-hour chart here. So let's zoom out to 24. Anything catch your eye here? We got ENS doing a ton of volume.
I mean, those orange squares are fucking still trending, man. It's, Ben.eth is doing something. Beans still doing well.
Yeah, feels like a weird day here.
I'm not a fan of these extreme pixels. I'm glad to see Nakamigos there, but like, what's up with extreme pixels? Also, are you buying at this point? Like, so Nakas are dropping back down. They're getting close to 0.3 again. Did you ever?
I told you my Nakamigos trigger point here, 0.2.
But it got there last time and you didn't pull the trigger. So
was it 0.2 or 0.1?
Yours?
It's been so long. Yeah, what
like
was my?
You might have said like 0.15 to 0.2.
Yeah, I think
in that range.
Yeah,
but it got down there. It got under 0.2.
Yeah, I don't know if it got to my initial point. I see it went under 2, but I think I had like a 0.15 target or something like that. But I'm gonna have to buy that baby, or I'm gonna just get absolutely eviscerated up here every single fucking day. I'm probably not buying Nakamigos until it hits that point. I do want to point out within these conversations, and I see Prodigy in chat there. In December, I bought 3 mutants, 3 dogs, and a couple other pieces, and I really just loaded up on Yuga. So if you want to look at where my liquidity went in that event or over the last 6 months, I could have been using those funds too, I guess, degen into this, but I just went heavy on Yuga. So
which, I don't think is a bad move. And I know like with the Ape coin staking, it's definitely been a W there. And think long term, that's a great place to be. So, I mean, I'm not hating on that move at all.
Trying to thank you for holding up the podcast numbers, and I keep moving the goalpost. So, okay. Yes, point. It will be 0.2.
Can we go look at Oni real quick?
Oh God. Yeah, sure. Let's go look at Oni. Yeah, amazing.
Also curious in the chat, what do y'all think about Kaiju Kingz? Because I picked up a Kaiju King off the floor, and then I tweeted about it and got like 0 response. So maybe because I'm shadow banned, and maybe because Kaiju Kings are not actually active on Twitter. But Oni back up at a 1 point. Yo, I am
200% in 30 days. That's
bro.
wild.
I feel like my bid of 1.2 was chef's kiss. That was like the perfect bid, because that's literally it came down, touched 1.2, my bid went through at the bottom, and then it started going up again. That is, yo, I'm like actually proud.
I don't know if y'all follow Wizards of Soho, but this is a Twitter profile that I've been following. Another day, another Oni Force bot. People are kind of speculating that this is the guy who owns 150 Oni Force, I believe. Did we cover this? Was it 350?
That would be why they brought him on stage for Oni Day.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Apparently, he's like a former Wall Street macro trader. Probably was that some hedge fund or something there.
That makes sense. They know he's a fucking whale, and that's why they brought him up to talk a bunch of shit on Oni Day.
So I'm opening this up because we've had this combo multiple times. Maybe you can't have one without the other, but every time I see one of these stories, I'm like, a whale has 300, XYZ, 300 Onis, 300 Nakas. Is it good for that collection that happens? Because it's good that they bought them, it's good that they're like obviously infusing liquidity, infusing the buy pressure, but it ends up not doing well in the long run. So I want to open up that question.
I think it's a double-edged sword, and I think it's kind of like having NFT fi tools. You know what I mean? It's like in good situations and in a good market, it pours gasoline one way, but when shit turns and they don't like you anymore, it can be gasoline the other way. Mm-hmm. So probably a smart move to bring him on stage for Oni Day, make him feel welcome in the community, and you know what I mean? Make the whales that are hodling, fucking 5 to 10% of your fucking supply. Make them feel good.
That's actually a really, really good point.
Yeah, I think this is the sort of case to actually be doing special treatment for some people that hold a lot of supply. Because as much as I think most of us feel like, hey, if I've got an ape, then I'm an ape and I should get equal treatment to all their apes. It's okay. It's like, okay, but what about that dude that has fucking 25 to 30 apes? Like, doesn't he deserve something extra? Shouldn't he maybe get to the front of the line? I mean, that's a tough question, because again, you're kind of making other people in your VIP club feel like they're not VIPs.
Yeah.
But also, doesn't it help to have whales sticking around and being in your club? So I don't know, man. I'm not gonna lie. It's a really challenging question for me because I've been to super high end VIP, Hollywood Hills parties where it's like you're in a fucking exclusive mansion. There's only 100 people here. It's a VIP fucking event. And then they have a little fucking like red rope around a couch inside the event. And you're just like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever fucking seen. You know what I mean?
You sound mad.
Like, no, because there's something about that, like the pretentiousness on top of pretentiousness, that I feel like is so fucking lame and stupid. And yet I can also recognize the importance of making sure that your whales are happy. So I don't know. I'm very ambivalent and conflicted about it.
Yeah, I'm interested in y'all's take in chat to see how you feel about this, because I probably flipped my understanding about this. Like, I think the Animoca Brands situation with, and I bring up Animoca because the other deeds in the other side, like that situation where the main yacht club island was given to like 1 through 500 of the apes. Like I was a staunch attacker of. I was like, what is this? Like it's all been random for the most part within the BAYC ecosystem, and then they decided, hey, we're gonna give the main island. So some people were saying that was a mistake. That sounds like an easy excuse to me, but on the other hand, I think I have started to warm to the idea that you should take care of those people. Like it might be just too much of a utopian thought to be like, we're all gonna be sharing an equal value. Well, really, the people that bring the most value should probably receive the most value in return. So that's probably where I've leaned more as I've gotten more experience in this space.
And to be fair, they already do. Like in Bored Apes, like if you had a bunch of apes, you've by far been rewarded the most. You know what I mean? Like
true, but even those that didn't have like in quantity, like more than 2 apes or something like that, if you owned one but were an outsized influence, But yeah, now we're getting into the weeds for sure. Like a Justin Bieber that doesn't own more than 1 ape, should he receive more value because he's bringing more notoriety to the yacht club? It's like this is all getting into semantics.
I feel like that doesn't make sense to me. Like I think that there's certain things that you could look at, and I think that if you actually infuse liquidity and own a bunch of the assets and you're responsible for a bunch of the supply, or you are actually active in the community, then you can measure that in different ways. I don't think just being a famous person like that, you're not a whale in that sense. That I feel like goes against the ethos, because you're not actually contributing anything to Web3 or the community other than, again, you're just famous in Web2. Well, here we'll give you everything. We'll take our ETH. You know what I mean? Like fuck that. That's what's been going on in Web2, which is basically famous people or wealthy people are just lauded and they're just given all of the perks and frankly they're already rich. Like the people that need it least typically get the most support, and that's, I think, an issue. Honestly, it's a what do you call it? It's like a discrepancy. What's the word that I can't think right now.
Yeah, we're in the wake of the Coinbase SEC episode and just like the nonsense that's happening. We're struggling on today's episode. If you can't,
there's a lot happening in my head right now. Yeah.
Between our defense of our own character against YouTube, I'm talking to you, YouTube and Twitter. I penned a nice little message to Twitter support here. Hopefully they see. But Oni Force, yes, this will go down as probably one of my worst calls of all time. Not to get in it. Also one of my best calls because I called them to 10 ETH, but decided, hey, I'm not going to participate in that run up other than having one Oni Force.
if and when Oni Force hits 10 ETH, Q, we are simultaneously going to celebrate you and mock you and make fun of you. Yep. It's going to be the most awkward celebration for Nifty Q of all time.
Look, I'm happy when anybody wins in this space. So if you guys get the dub, I'm not going to, there's going to be another opportunity out there somewhere.
Are you moving the goalposts on this one? You moved it at first. It was like, okay, 0.4, not good enough. Then it was like, okay, when it's at 1 ETH.
It never touched 1 ETH, unfortunately.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Are you changing your stance now? Are you saying, well, if it comes back down to 1.4 or 1.5, I should pull the trigger?
No. What I have to hope for now is that like some type of like macro market situation happens to the NFT space in that I can take advantage of, because right now Oni's got a ton of momentum. Even in a bear, you can see that
So you don't think it's coming back down to 1 ETH?
Well, outside of any macro market condition is what I'm saying. Like,
Black Swan.
It wouldn't necessarily be a black. I mean, is the SEC suing Coinbase a black swan? Because I'm not totally convinced we're out of this. So that's what I'm thinking. Like if there is a fallout from this, because everyone's assuming, we recovered, we're fine. Like if there is a long-term fallout, Oni might not be at 1.7. There's
gonna be a long-term fallout from this. And whether or not Oni is susceptible or not, or if their momentum continues, I don't know. But like, dude, that like what Binance that news that we were just covering about delisting all the different cryptos and pairs. Like,
yeah,
this is gonna have an impact, absolutely, like a big impact.
I hate to throw up the poll again and being like, are we out of this? I think yesterday most people said no. Are you buying the dip here? I don't think most people are, but if you are, good luck to you.
Who thinks we're out of it? I mean, buying the dip is one thing, but thinking that we're just out of it?
Yeah. Hey, I want to bring up this really quick. We've been covering the Cyberkongz for a little while now. We've been, kind of referential with them for a long time, and I know Hash Rhymes has been a supporter of them in that time. But really, it seems like they're in the same way Oni Force has like made a concerted effort to say, "Hey, we're going to go on Twitter. We're going to really put our name out there. We're going to have this resurgence." Cyberkongz is doing some of that as well. So we see welcome to the portal, enter the opportunity to be whitelisted for the upcoming Cyberkongz Genkai mint, genkai.cyberkongz.com. Full details in the thread. So I'm going to see if there's any volume here. Let's see. So you can enter the portal there if you would like. I'll drop the link. But let's get into the thread real quick before we do that. The portal is an application-based system we will be using to determine limitless allocations. Upon entering the portal website, you will be required to connect your wallet and Twitter account as well as answer a series of questions. Apply as an individual or on behalf of a specific community. Individual acceptances will be based on Web3 participation and application answers. Community acceptances will be based on application answers and quantity of applications submitted for that community. Our goal is to curate a group of individuals and communities that align with our Web3 vision and principles. We are humble, we are inclusive, we are builders. Enter and apply now. So if I zoom out here, I've joined the website now. You can see I can enter the portal, and then you get the limitless or the limit list portal, which is going to be somewhere where you can fill out the whitelist application. Now, unless you have I think what it looks like is unless you're like having a strong community support behind you, you should just go with the individual to see if you can get on that whitelist. Again, I need to work out the numbers for this. They don't have the numbers listed, but OG Kongs are going to have 2, babies are going to have 1, and then they're going to open this up to the public. And that's the idea on that piece. I don't know if that then the public mint has any cap. You'd like to think there would be some cap on this, so I'm not sure that we have the final details on that. Oh, we got another look at at Genkai's as well. So you can see here, we got a gold, different colors. Oh, we got a neon. Look. So that, look, the like I could see that being a good PFP. Obviously, that's a grail. So that would be nice within that ecosystem to have that. But you can see a little bit. There's another one with some glasses and the neon skin. So Genkai's coming soon. Are you guys buying? Are you interested in getting on this whitelist? What would the price have to be for you to mint this? I believe we had a mint price talk within the Wild Wild Web podcast. I don't think they have this listed anywhere. I think it was more like Henry the Grape was giving me all of this from his dome, basically. Marty saying, don't waste your ETH on Nakamigos. Easy and Crypto saying, we in a bit of a mess. Squashman saying, I do like that some Congress members have taken a stance against the SEC's actions. Several have posted on Twitter. And Troy is saying it helps to have a whale involved in your project, but not a whale dominating your project. They lock up liquidity and control the narrative. Same with DAOs. Great
solid point.
All right, I showed you Genkai PFPs. I showed you the whitelist. Again, we're missing some details, Gifted, but what do you think?
I'm over here trying to fill out my whitelist application. I'll finish it after the show, but I got about halfway through. They're asking some interesting questions. It's an interesting application.
Well, it's a manual process too. That's another crazy thing. Like sometimes with these whitelists, a lot of times they're not manual.
But they're literally like one of the first questions is, who's your least favorite influencer?
Who is it?
I'll let y'all guess. I will neither confirm nor deny.
Is it someone very?
No, it's not NFTGO.
Get you on there.
It is somebody very well known. I'll say that, but I will neither confirm nor deny who I am writing into this application as my least favorite influencer. But they are somebody well known, and if y'all want to guess in the chat, by all means, feel free.
Is it the Azuki founder? Is it Zagabond? No.
He could be up there. He's definitely not one of my faves, but he's not my least fave.
Got it.
Anyway, I just think there's some interesting questions being asked, and I'm curious. Like, they're saying this is a safe space, but I wonder what they're gonna do with that data. You know what I mean? Like,
fair. Don't get caught slipping, Gifted. It's tough to look at Cyberkongz here on NFTGO because the collections are mixed here. You can see the floor price for Genesis, or I guess for BAGCHECK, is still at 1.4. Obviously, Genesis, I believe, are still above 10 ETH. So they were about 11 ETH as I checked this morning. So that's a tough play, man. Like, if you're playing the babies snapshot, basically, because that's what I would do right now. Obviously, I explained yesterday why I would do babies over OG right now. But if you're playing the Genkai yield with the babies, very, very dangerous game. You're basically betting that the Genkais will be worth more than the babies will drop in volume after the snapshot. That's essentially what the risk you're playing. But, you know, will I get a baby or will I get an Oni Force if they're both at the same price right now?
Oni's actually more expensive now. But yeah, no, it's a fair comparison. They're similar. As far as I know, Oni isn't promising any other expansion projects right now.
They have to. At some point, they have to. That's the thing.
You would think that they should find a way to expand their community. So, like, I get that, but how do they do it strategically without just diluting the supply and
pulling the gutter cat? Can we just start calling it that?
Pull a GCG, pull a gutter cat gang. Maybe the saying, oof, this hurts. What if the saying is just like, how do they not gutter their project?
Oh, I see the pun there. How do they not find themselves in the gutter?
Yeah. It's like, sounds like gutting your project.
Oh,
no. That kind of works.
We're onto something here. Let's keep going. All right. Anyways, the baby's floor, it looks like, is 1.4 right now. So all time, again, in the bull market, they were going for 6 a pop. That's after like getting that as a free drop if you held an OG. Over the last 3 months, though, it's been pretty volatile. I mean, you saw a 0.9. That's not that volatile. 0.95 looks like was around what the lowest floor price was, and now it's sitting at 1.4. It was at 1.6 to start June. So we'll be following the Genkai drop. I'm going to actually put my whitelist application as well, and I'm going to try to talk to Henry. Hopefully, Henry the Grape can hook us up with a potential whitelist spot if you are looking to get a Genkai here. I would love to.
Let's go,
ETH
Henry.
Price. What would it need to be
for a mint? I think that they'll try and retain pretty high value, but also be aware of where the market's at. So I'm guessing it'll be somewhere around 0.1, maybe up to 0.2.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I wouldn't be surprised if it's between like 0.1 and 0.3, maybe 0.2. But
I don't know how much their banana token is used either, GIF. I don't know if they would. Yeah. They probably wouldn't price in a banana. But
Squashman, it's not Poly or Ben.eth. It's neither of them, and it's neither of the ones. It's none of the ones I'm already saying. But Nifty Q, who is your least favorite influencer? If you had to name one person that really rubs you raw, that really grinds
under
your
my
gears.
Skin is Franklin. I mean, like I've been up here saying like Franklin gets under my fucking skin with the shit that he does.
You know what really grinds my gears? That Franklin.
He's just an encapsulation of how we prop up people that got lucky. Like at the end of the day, the man got. There's some skill involved. Don't get me wrong. There's some risk taking involved. Again, I've been in crypto a long enough time to understand that it's not just getting lucky, but don't put the man up on a pedestal like he's a god or a genius. And that's what Twitter does. Twitter loves to do that shit. I actually respect like a guy like Not Thread Guy more. Even though it's around like he's a shit poster, but he's good at what he does. You know, like you can't say Franklin is good at what he does. He got fucking lucky on one drop, and y'all put this man up in the sky and called him fucking
not Zeus. Not just that. Like one of the first tweets that I saw him come back with was him saying, "I haven't bought any NFTs in like over a month, but I just successfully flipped this for like 0.01 ETH." I'm just like, bruh.
Oh, the 0.00. Look, I'm not the 0.001 ETH. Like, this is how you flip. I made 3 flips. Lost out on $50.
He's like, yo.
All right, we have to stop. This is
in just a few hours. I flipped this for 0.012 ETH. I'm like, dude.
All right, we're coping now.
Yeah,
I gotta stop this. Who is my least favorite? Like, I don't hate Franklin. Okay, I just hate what he represents. All right, so the guy's okay. Who's my least favorite influencer? BitBoy is definitely one that comes up, who seems to be in it for the wrong reasons, or kind of like sold his soul to the devil a little bit. Fuck, that's a great question. Because what you're asking is basically like, who's just a huge piece of shit? Who's like the biggest piece of shit you know?
So I'm very curious what they're gonna do with that data.
I hopefully display it to the public.
Yeah, BitBoy's got a lot of negative attention that I think is very deserved. So.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll come back to you on that. I don't hate it. Like, as much as we get up here and we talk about this stuff because it's a daily show, but I don't like actively, like, I'm not on Twitter being like, I hate that guy. You know, I'm like, oh, like, so it's a tough question.
It's
like,
kind of,
am I annoyed by Franklin?
It's kind of giving into like the whole high school nature of all this shit.
Yeah. So
you know what's okay? Here's an interesting question. Maybe it should be a poll. I don't know. It's like a tangent. It's a relevant tangent.
Well, make it easy for me because I can create it.
Is everything still just like high school? Do we ever really graduate from high school? It feels like kind of the world is just fucking stuck in high school right now. Sometimes.
Should I make? Are we making a poll? Is the world still as? I need a better poll.
All right. It's a dumb
folks.
poll.
We're on NFT Live. We're like halfway through the episode here today. Thank you for tuning in. Leave a like if you can. We are square. We're not covering the SEC and Coinbase today. Like we gave that whole montage yesterday. We are covering.
Can we look at Kaiju Kingz?
We will look at Kaiju Kingz. You actually bring up a really good point as well, or like that triggers another thought that I was having on a secondary collection, or like some. I hate to call them secondary collections, but not like the largest projects. Was a conversation I had with Harry Liu on the other side, and how like these stories are going to be told through the other side in the same way the Sandbox is kind of operated. But I would say the other side to me is now like Sandbox on steroids. What Sandbox has really done is allowed other projects to tell their story. If Yuga can pull that off in Unreal Engine 5, they're going to do extremely well. And I'm bullish on the other side, of course. I'll pick my jaw off the floor now, but there's a couple of these projects that go under the radar GIF that we've touched on. Like, do you remember the hound collars in like the Bored Ape like hounds? Have you heard of these projects?
I don't know if I heard of Bored Ape hounds, but there was some dogs and some dog collars. Were those for Bored Apes?
It wasn't, dude, but these projects I think are going to be the major like ones that are being shown off on the other side that nobody's talking about. Like there's going to be 10KTF. We know 10KTF is going to be a major player there. There's going to be, I think some people were saying Renga potentially, but there's all these like I hesitate to go there because again, I've talked about Asia being my blind spot, but the way Harry was talking about it is there's these Yuga associated projects like they want to be in the other side, like they were built from the ground up to be like associated with the Bored Ape ecosystem, if that makes sense, that have an Asian community that we don't hear about a lot. And I think those projects will do well. Like that is one piece. And again, not financial advice, nothing we say should be taken as, but when Harry was talking about those two, I was like, that feels like alpha. That feels like something I should be paying attention to.
Well, I think you're right. I think I made that parallel yesterday too, is that like it is basically what Sandbox has been doing, except that they have the underlying tech to make it a more immersive open world experience. So it's just a better experience. And it's 3D. I think you're the one that also like called that out, right? It's not pixelized. But apparently there is a new BAYC post, Squashman shouting that out. I also shared some really cool early reveals from the dot swoosh that we didn't even cover this morning because we're mostly talking about the war on crypto, but actually looks pretty cool.
All right, let me pull that up. The project I was referencing in relation to that when I'm talking about the other side and like Bored Ape derivative projects is the Mutant Hounds.
Yeah, I do remember seeing these.
Yeah,
I remember seeing these. Are these? But these aren't. I didn't think these were related to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to convey across. Is I didn't either, and I'm like, holy! Like you can see, like in this comic book where they're building out their lore, there's a mutant ape in their comic club. That was like when he started talking about this, man, I'm like, oh, this could be a project that is low cap that could potentially get the sign off from the other side saying, hey, you know, we're going to be building within that ecosystem. So I don't know, maybe it's nothing, maybe it's something. But maybe I should do a little bit more research, maybe on the Wild Web Pod. Maybe I can have somebody from that project on. All right, let's get into what you've got pulled up here. Hello?
Hello?
What do you got?
Oh, you want me to pull it up or you want to pull it up?
No, I'm pulling it up. What was the... which one did you want me to pull up?
Dot swoosh? Let's just look at this real quick. I don't think we got to spend a lot of time on it, but I think these are some of the first reveals. And again, the quality of the art is fucking dope. And this is interesting because this is actually, like, you might think that this is one of the like new wave designs, but this is actually a classic remix.
Now you see it, now you don't. AF1 Invisible classic remix 444.
So that makes me start to think like, oh shit, the new wave ones are going to be really crazy.
Is the secondary market active on these yet? I know we had that question last time.
Not that I know of.
Yeah, see if you can bring that up. In the meantime, we've got Squash saying that there's a new Bored Ape Yacht Club animated video. You know we're Sims for this, and gift that it's 1 minute and 8 seconds long. Are you excited?
Yeah.
I'm semi-hard right now.
TMI.
Here we go. Marty, you might have to like cover your eyes and ears right now because we're going to go Yuga show for just a moment. Looks like a new video from the Bored Ape Yacht Club. All right. Hold on. Just a moment. Okay, Heavy Metals making an entrance. GIF, what do you think they're stepping into? I'm stopping this because I don't want to get copyrighted, folks. What do you think they're stepping into here?
The Legend of the Mario.
Got some Kennel Club dogs. Oh. I remember the Mecha Dog fight against some like ape race that was fighting. I remember that. Where are we headed?
The Legends of the Mara.
Oh
I think
my God.
I think we're headed into the game. I think this is the storytelling narrative piece before they unveil the game. Well, maybe it's the forging first. Like maybe there's some kind of forging mechanic before the game, but it seems like this is the narrative lead into the Legend of the Mara game. That's what I would guess.
Yeah, a couple Easter eggs here. There's Forge. So I know that there was an Evolution 2 that was set to happen based on owning dogs.
So that'll be Evo 2. Yeah, so that's the Forge then, I guess.
Evo 2, yeah, it looks like the Forge right before we hop into whatever this is. Get that saying it's the Legends of the Mara. Tell me how dope that was. Not, come on, dude. Why stop? Just love whatever lore they're building out, man. Like they're just a project trying to continue to build out a story here. It doesn't have to be a Peter Jackson epic every time they come out with one of these. So we got a bone that's inscribed. That's probably has to do with some of the forging. I don't know what this is here. Got a question. That's the first shot we got in the other side trailer of him kind of sitting there before he drank the juice. It's also just Curtis sitting there. So the kennel dogs will be... I need to look at the floor here in the next 24 hours, but the kennel dogs seem to be featured here. That for the first time. I don't think they were featured in any of the trailers before that. All right.
Seems like they got some volume incoming right now, for sure.
The
a lot of sales, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see if they happen to say anything about it here. So they're calling these comics at this point. Check out issue 3 of Animated Comic on YouTube. That's the final tweet. So nothing more in Yuga style. Nothing concrete here. If we go to the roadmap, maybe that'll give us some extra information. Shout out to Squashman, who's our resident ape on the beat here.
Yeah, and it does not look like there's any secondary on .swoosh yet. I shared the link if you want to go look at it. But yeah, it's again, I think it's custodial. It's stuck in their system. I don't think there's a marketplace in the .swoosh website or anything. So
to me as an outsider there, that's what I'm looking at, like health indicator wise for .swoosh. Is there a healthy secondary market? Because there's obviously a healthy secondary market for physical products of Nikes. So
yeah,
that's what you'd want to see on the digital side. This might be it here. Begins in June. Time to play. Journey to Evo 2. So to Gifted's point, Legends of the Mara, likely, unless this is most of the mech and the heavy metals have been about Legends of the Mara and not the other side. So this is likely a Legends of the Mara piece. Now there was I don't even know which one this is, but there was a picture of an evolution. So here we go. Mini game. So we got the initial evolution, right? Mini game Evo 2 combined with Bored Ape Kennel Club. So this is where we're at. Mini game set 2 or combined with a BAKC equals question mark. So we got the sewer pass, which ended into what, GIF? Was that was the boxes? So sewer pass, boxes, heavy metal, and now we're here. Is that correct in saying?
Yeah. Evo 2 looks like there's gonna go one of two ways. So mini game set 1 or combine with Bored Ape Kennel Club.
So kennels, let's look at kennels. You said there was some volume there, but okay.
Yeah, definitely incoming.
Yeah.
So because I sold my fucking dog, not gonna be able to go that route.
I have an extra doggo around.
Oh,
laying around.
yeah. You want to let me combine with one of my heavy metals?
I'll let you know how many. So it would be so the heavy metals are the ones that are combining. Correct?
I think
so.
I'm guessing.
Yeah. I might have 2 heavy metals. I don't know if I have 2 or 3. If I have 2, I know I have 3 dogs. The apes don't even look similar to the OGs. It's a cartoon. You're grasping.
It like literally is just stretching to find any possible wrongdoing here.
All right, I'm gonna look up kennels real quick. 4.13. I don't think that's that far off.
No, but look at the
yeah,
it's starting to pump right now. And if you go look at the activity, there's a bunch of incoming sales right now.
All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put my Bored Ape on blend. I'm going to buy a bunch of kennel clubs. I'm going to see the increase in price in that with the extra liquidity that I have.
Bro, you probably could, if you did it right now and then like got out quick enough, you probably could do well with that.
Yeah.
Not financial advice, but like you'd have to move very quickly and then like get out very quickly, I think.
You're right. That's what I don't want to do. The long and hard road is the simple road for me. If I had just bought ETH the second I got into this space and sat on that shit instead of buying every ICO in existence, thinking I was going to be I would be better off. And that really formulates my thoughts on the space today.
Does that really grind your gears, Q?
When ETH was at $50,
would you have made as many friends or be having as much fun along the way?
I probably could have been doing like some IRL stuff, just not worrying about my bags, not looking at charts every day. Just buy and hold, baby. Buy and hold. Yeah, I mean, look, I think that would be the case. I think kennel clubs right now are going to run just based off this announcement. We'll see. If you want to go the blend route, let us know how that worked. The OG are cartoons too. You think they would look the same, but they don't. I think they're going with a specific like art route on these cartoons that might be a little bit different than what's shown off in the actual NFTs. Oh, I thought this was Franklin, dude.
I think it's a parody on Franklin.
Okay, thank God.
That's why I just found this. So shout out Doge Pound for
just flipped this dog for 5 cents.
That's a loss.
It only took him 4 hours and 20 minutes. For the apes in chat or those that have, so even if you don't have an ape, I would love to get your take here on the kind of move into, I guess, the Legends of Mara at this point. So Squash, if you got any takes here on how you're playing this, obviously it's going to be I think the ideal thing is going to be combining with the BAKC. But we've seen Yuga, like even within the sewer pass situation, they kind of fucked that up. Like my tier 4 is now the same price, right? Or there was like something involved in that. So there's always the opportunity, I think, to have this like X factor or, something come up that, maybe going the mini game route is better than combining with the BAKC. That's kind of up in the air. So Squash, let me know. What do you think, Gif?
I think this is long-awaited utility for Kennel Club. I think that's what they're trying to do, is make those more valuable, and that's why most people are going to bet that way. If they can, they're going to go that way, and that's why you're seeing the floor pump. And I'm assuming that that's going to differentiate it somehow. But to your point, how much? Or does the floor inevitably collapse at the end of all this? Who knows? But I would combine my heavy metals with a Kennel Club if I could.
Yeah. Okay. All right, we'll await more information on that front. The other one to go to is the Other Space FM. They have a Discord that's invite only. If you guys want to get in there, send me a DM and I'll reach out to those guys to get you in, because they're, again, talking the other side. Like, I'm hopping in right after this. I don't know if I want to show Other Space FM's Discord live on stream, but I will definitely be in there right after the show trying to decipher what's going on. This just came out like 30 seconds ago. This is from the block. Talk to your lawyer. Coinbase CEO recounts icy meeting with SEC Chair Gensler. Coinbase Brian Armstrong said he last met with Gary Gensler, the chair of the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, during an icy virtual meeting after several other efforts to meet in person had failed. When he first came in as the chair, I flew out to New York. I reached out to him. Our teams reached out. I tried to make an effort to connect with him in person because that's what I try to do whenever a new regulator kind of comes in. Unfortunately, we were not able to connect at that time. I'm not sure why we couldn't get on his calendar. Armstrong said a virtual meeting was scheduled, possibly because of COVID precautions. And here we go. It was frankly like a pretty icy reception, I would say. We sort of came in hat in hand and said, hey, Chair Gensler, we've asked people to come in and register. Respectfully, we're here to register. What would you like us to do? What process would you like us to go through? And his response was, talk to your lawyer. I'm not here to advise you. Talk to your lawyer on what? About what? Like you're supposed to be offering a route that we can work together to further adoption of this stuff, but clearly it's not. Like we're talking in circles at this point because clearly that's not his goal.
But shout out again, Brian Armstrong is clearly taking this on full-heartedly. Like he's going out and telling the story. He's saying like, look, this is the bullshit shenanigans that we're being put through right now. These guys are not here to help. They're not acting in good faith. So good for him, man. Tell the fucking story, Brian. Support this man. Support Coinbase. Support everyone that you can right now in the space. Because, again, these precedents that are going to be set through these forthcoming legal battles will dictate our future.
So that's the one-on-one account there from Brian Armstrong. So more information is coming out. Obviously, Brian is trying to bring as much
Salute Brian Armstrong
and correct information to light. So yeah, he's skyrocketed. He already was in the pantheon for most people in this space. Maybe they didn't know Brian Armstrong, but he already was in that pantheon amongst people in the know. But like he's now in that top spot for everybody. You know, if he hasn't already.
Look, history calls. You either rise to meet it or you don't. Looks like he's getting his cowboy hat. He's hopping on his horse. So anyway.
All right, I don't think we're going to cover any more of this this Bored Ape stuff. Squashman saying, I'm stoked. I have a BAKC with a rocket launcher and can't wait to use it. Been listening to Other Space FM and trying to dig into the other side. Legends Mara, Heavy Metal, Baron, and Sean Nana kill it with the deep dives. They certainly do. I'll actually link to that because they do a great job of putting on a show every Thursday. They're good guys trying to make the space go round. So I'll link that here. Gif, I've got a couple other stories before we head out today. Any other takes that you'd like to bring up before I do so?
I wanted to look at Kaiju Kingz if we can briefly.
Do you have that?
I can pull it up.
All right.
I don't know. I'm honestly looking for feedback and like people's thoughts on this because it is an OG collection that it's actually really big. It was really big or is, you know, in terms of like total volume, market cap. Seems pretty beaten down. I ended up buying one off the floor because I had seen some people talking about it with really positive light. But I don't honestly know. Like I read their recent blog post. So they are like, it does seem like the team, which is Augmented Labs, behind it, is active and trying to figure out how to move forward. They got a ton of followers on Twitter. So whatever they did initially to like take off, I mean, they built like a massive following on fucking Twitter, like almost 200,000 followers or some shit. The art, I think, they're kind of like the babies. Like I don't love the art. Like I don't feel that strongly about the IP. Yeah, no, it's like I'm being real. Like, so I don't feel that strongly about the IP. Just like the Cyberkongz babies and the other shit. Like, but beyond the art, I'm just curious. I don't know if y'all have any other thoughts on this, or if this feels like a dead one. Like, even though they're still out there doing some stuff, and they have a massive following and a strong foundation from their initial, from the initial bull market.
The babies deserve defense here. So you bought a Kaiju Kingz, even though the art isn't the best.
Q, I've been saying that I want to buy a baby despite not liking the art, and I'm telling you, I don't think this is great art. I'm not sitting here saying this is great art. That's not what I'm saying.
I was not defending the babies for great art either. I will say I don't think the babies are like otherworldly art.
You got pretty triggered when I said that, though.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily because I'm a defender of the babies' art. I think you were going a little hard at the babies, and then went with the Kaiju Kingz, which are
well. These are only 0.2 right now. That's why
fair.
I got one. It's not 1.4 or whatever.
Yeah, better risk reward here at 0.2 for sure. So there's 10,000 of these community survey results. Is there anything going on with it besides like the kind of look of the art?
Well, they say in the blog that they're doing some things like including, a game, which I'm not super bullish on that being great, but yeah, man, I don't know. I kind of put it out there like, hey, is anybody out there? Kaiju Kingz, the Kaiju follow Kaiju didn't get really any response. So I'm kind of like, oof, all right, maybe this is pretty dead actually. But simultaneously, I have seen some people talking about them still, positive sentiment. And this was like a really big project, like by volume still. It's like, might be like top 100 or something. Like it was a big project. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm not seeing any comments either over here in the chat. So maybe, nobody cares about them, which in that case, maybe I should just fucking take the L.
Look, 0.2 is not like, obviously it could fall from there. But 0.2 isn't like in that 1 ETH category, even like a 0.5 category. It's a better entry point, I think, than some of our other plays. So looks like there's an evolution here. So there's baby Kaijus, Genesis Kaijus.
Yeah, there was like 3,000 of the original, and then the babies were the expansion. They're all in one project.
What made you find Kaiju Kingz after all this time, though? Like, I know you said they're a top project. Like, what made you go to them now?
Yeah, it was a couple different data points. I remember them originally launching and getting a lot of fanfare and kind of blowing up and people talking about them a lot. So I kind of just had that background awareness in my head of seeing them around a lot. Never got into it, never got super interested, but it was just kind of there as like, oh, this is a big project that some people are really into. And then when I was doing recent research on, projects that are undervalued, looking at big projects with really low floors, this one showed up and it was like, oh shit, this is a really big project by market cap, by total volume. This was a big, massive project that is quite cheap. It is definitely way down from its all-time highs. All-time highs were around like somewhere between like 5 to 10 ETH, something like that. And then I started to see a couple people tweeting about it. I started to see people, like Lost Local, like people that I think are smart in the space, mentioning it, like just calling out, hey, Kaiju Kingz are going to make a comeback. And I was like, okay, well, there's still some believers. There's still some people out there that love it, but that could just be people, trying to pump their bags and whatever, holding on for dear hope to a lost cause. But it was cheap enough and interesting enough that I said, fuck it, I'll put in a bid and see if I get one. And I got one. And now I'm like,
entry price. What's your entry price?
Around 0.2, somewhere between 0.2 and 0.25. It's somewhere around 0.2. But yeah, so it's crazy that we're at this point. But so I'm looking at
Kaiju Kingz here on NFT price for the full look. So 0.20 for price here, up 24% in the past 24 hours. I'm also looking at a project that's not far off the list. That's also was on our dashboard to talk about today. At 0.6 Gutter Cat Gang. That is fucking wild. That they've come this far. I mean, at one point, a 10. Wait, no. That did not say 28. Okay, it's 80th floor, 90th floor.
Yeah. I don't know if CryptoSlam always has all the data though.
This is price floor.
Right. Oh, price floor.
Should I be looking at CryptoSlam?
Well, I don't know, because when I look at OpenSea, like for instance, when you're looking at Kaiju Kingz, like the floor there was much higher on OpenSea when they initially launched, and then it held around like 4 ETH for a while. But yeah.
All right, you're getting some comments here in chat. Easy and Crypto saying I remember them, and Squash saying, "Oh shit, I do remember them. I'm into those profiles that Augmented Labs did that were usable in Kaiju Kingz ecosystem." Extinct is talking about sprite games are pretty good. I think the experience of it all will determine its future, maybe. How do you guys feel about alpha dogs?
Don't know alpha dogs, I don't think. Yeah, I'm not really familiar with alpha dogs.
Yeah, same. The other story that we had lined up here was Puma, right? Puma goes with the Gutter Cat Gang. In partnership with LaMelo Ball, unveils his third signature sneaker. Does this save the Gutter Cat Gang? Has been the tongue-in-cheek question for a long time. And the Gutter Cat Gang is going to be a case study in the histories of NFTs, man. Because that was a straight-up blue chip for a little while, and has fallen off so far that people don't even... I think when I say that they were a blue chip, I think people question that. And it was not questioned at the time. I promise you that. Yeah. But what's up?
Well, okay. On this, some of the initial reactions to people on these sneakers has been pretty negative. Like, I don't know that the designs have been that well received. I don't. They're cool. They're cool-ish.
Gutter Cat Gang here.
Yeah, I mean they're not. I can see how some people think they're fucking ugly because it's kind of a lot going on. But if you want something super flashy and different, I do kind of like how the bottom melts into the sneaker. That's pretty cool.
It's got a cat scratch too.
Oh yeah, kind of. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's cool. So I don't know. I'm not that mad at them, but I'm also not in love with the design. But yeah, Squashman also back on the Kaiju Kingz talking about Augmented Labs Scientists, which were a free customizable NFT that was actually a pretty cool minting experience. I did do that. So I do have some of those. But again, yeah, what has come from any of that? I don't know. Extinct saying that he's seen another version that's even uglier.
I'm not sure that's possible.
This version is not that bad.
I just don't know if you're onboarding folks into Gutter Cat Gang through these things. One of the comments on here, Gutter Rick saying we do a little onboarding. Are you onboarding folks through? Is someone that is a fan of LaMelo Ball saying I need to buy a gutter pigeon or gutter rat? Is that the goal? What is the metric here? Exposure. Okay, I'm down for that, but I wouldn't necessarily say you're doing any onboarding through this stuff.
I think what it comes down to is how is this marketed outside of Web3? Because the challenge here is that it's really great and all to get stay relevant and get some more of the people that are already in Web3 reinvigorated and sort of re-engage some Web3 audiences. And maybe that works. And maybe there's a few more people that do say, hey, they're still doing stuff cool, and pigeons and dogs, and they're all, the rats are really undervalued. So maybe it's worth getting one right now. So maybe this has that intended effect. But what's really important to me is how are you using LaMelo Ball and communicating out to his audience, to NBA audiences, to people like that in a way that it'll actually convert them somehow. Like the awareness is good. So just getting Gutter Cat Gang out there as like a brand and like a collaboration thing that people outside of Web3 start to hear about and see and think is cool and interesting, and maybe they'll look into that further. Cool. But how are you actually communicating more to those people and bringing them in?
Mm-hmm. The official price.
I do think, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
The official price of the Guttermellow NFT will be announced shortly. Man, it's tough. It's tough for me with this stuff. Like, there's multiple. It's not as easy as saying, "Hey, you need to do this and it will be successful." Because what I see from this is, okay, you're getting LaMelo like to talk about and wear Gutter Cat merch and show it off, and obviously sneakers, and he'll probably wear it on the court like we saw in the old days of Top Shot. But like, is there any benefit to owning a Gutter Cat from this? Like, that's where my Web3 mind goes, right? Sharing utility with your community. It doesn't look like that there's much utility here. Guaranteed early access. So here we go. Owners of a Gutter Cat Gang Cats NFT or a Puma Pass NFT will receive guaranteed early access. Priority raffle owners of Gutter Rats, Pigeons, Dogs, or a Super Puma NFT can sign up for priority raffle. So there's a utility, I guess.
Yeah. I think Squashman's making a good point that the NFC chips could be a good onboarding tool if they get out there in products that are mass adopted. Saying Avenged Sevenfold's already using it. We have seen, like, we just saw the squiggle sweaters that Marty's such a fan of, that those are going to have them embedded. I do think that most phygital items that are done well coming out now are going to have NFCs, near field communication chips embedded, and that those link back to like the NFTs or some kind of Web3 platform. And I do agree. I think that that's one of the best ways to maybe get people into your funnel.
Yeah.
I think Pudgy Penguins are also doing this. They have a whole Web3 platform that was released with those toys that's like fun and kind of like gamified. And I think that type of thing, having it integrated with those phygital items, is absolutely going to be one of the most powerful onboarding devices right now.
Kind of in that Web 2.5 that we like to talk about. Yeah, it's a
bridge, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to have that bridge, and yeah, I think Web 2.5 is definitely part of that.
I clicked through the Gutter Cat website, and one thing that we brought up multiple times is like, they're this case study, right? Like you have to have a pretty solid community to have this many different things, different NFTs, right? Like I'm already in the chasm.
Yeah,
I've scrolled down twice.
My brain hurts.
And there's comics that have their own, and I'm not saying that's not a cool activation or a cool collection. You got the Gutter Juice we know about that were part of the clones that were transformed from, and maybe Bored Ape looks like this, right, from the outside to a lot of people, but you already have an ingrained community there. And what feels like to the Gutter Cat Gang, while it once was pretty strong, it's tough to have this be the starting point for a lot of people. I don't know. I'm waxing poetic here. I don't have a collection. That's extremely complex like this. So I want to see the Gutter Cat Gang do well. That's the thing.
Yeah, I think we all do, man. We talk about it a lot. But, who's Left Action House over here saying most of these NFTs are the ICOs of 2017 and will not be back in the next bull. I mean, yeah, I don't think anybody's arguing with the idea that the majority of NFTs, like 98% plus, aren't going to make it or will never amount to much.
It just feels like too much. It just this is just another example. Like, I see what you're trying to go for. This is almost like a Simpsons map. I like the art of this and the interactivity of it. But it's just too much going on, man. And there's a fine balance. Like, you want to see projects continue to evolve and develop, but I don't know. Yeah.
It's actually a cool website.
It really is.
You know?
It really is. And
Yeah.
you want to see them, obviously have good reviews from that. So there's not a lot of projects doing what you just saw, as easy as that might seem. All right, folks, that's going to be NFT Live for today. I know we're having like an SEC Coinbase hangover day, pretty much. Not that much on the storyline front. We did get a Bored Ape trailer. We got an update from Guttercat Gang there. There's a couple plays here that we brought up, though. I mean, we touched on Nakamigos. We touched on Kaiju Kingz. I think the mutant collars, man, the mutant hounds. There's something there.
I'd like to know more.
Yeah.
I do remember when these were launching, and I didn't really understand what the hype was then. I still don't fully get it, but if there is like a clear tie-in, lore story from the other side, some utility there, like, cool. Would love to learn more.
Here's my last question to you before we end the show, GIF, and this goes to everybody out there, because I think Squash has been coming through with some really great comments, and it kind of encapsulates the topic we've been talking about for the last 10 minutes. Is GCG and Pixel Vault are hitting hardest by this complexity chasm and more supply than demand. If you were running GCG, what would you do? Like, I know that's a tough question, but like,
what? A really, if you could, good and hard question.
If you could wave your magic wand and it happens in the next month for Guttercat Gang, because to his point, it's hard to dig yourself out of what has been created. It is. So what would you do tomorrow to try to fix it?
How long do we want to spend sitting here thinking about this and brainstorming?
I was thinking lightning question, but it might be a question for another day. My initial simp take, like my 20 IQ / 200 IQ bell curve take, is just figure out how to better limit the supply. I don't know what that looks like, but that just feels like a good starting point.
Well, I
know the clones were supposed to solve that as well, but go ahead.
On that front, I was going to, and the thing is, I don't even know if you could actually do this, which is why I didn't immediately say this, because logistically and from like investment wise of people that have bought into these collections, like how you actually get them to agree to do this. But I was going to say something crazy, like you make a whole giant ordeal out of an interactive sacrifice, and you basically like kill off one of the collections, like
the pigeons, dogs.
Yeah, like you make it a huge deal, like where it's like people can vote in different ways and interact to like decide which collection is sacrificed and like which one just gets killed. But like that type of thing would simultaneously reduce supply, get a lot of attention. It would get a lot of people angry, but it would also get a lot of people way more interested in like, oh shit, there's now like a Game of Thrones fucking thing happening over here. Mm-hmm. But it would drastically help reduce and simplify what you're doing and reduce supply. And like, do you need pigeons, dogs, and rats and clones? Like I don't think you need all of them. You know what I mean?
You don't, which is how we got to where we are today.
Yeah. And then also you could bring them back later at one point. If you ever got to a point, you could do some crazy comeback story for them. You know what I mean? It sets that up. If you ever got to a point where there was enough demand and people were like, hey, it'd be really cool is those OG fucking pigeons if they flew back in now. But I don't know if you ever get to that point.
Flew away and then came back.
Yeah. They fly back in, drop a turd and go off again. It's the pigeon effect, but
they got to find out. Yeah. Yeesh. Tough, complex question to end the episode here. Finding some way to have a revenue stream, which is maybe what they're attacking with merch.
The what?
I was saying revenue streams can lead to things like buybacks, and where you can like actually, because then you're like, okay, you're killing off the NFT. Let's say that's the only NFT you own. what are you getting in return?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know logistically how you do that per se. But the other thing that, again, logistically seems like it's problematic was like, dude, if they actually were able to fucking launch the gang token like they had promised, I think that they'd be in a much better spot, at least within the community, maybe not legally at this point.
Yeah, legally, Dan would be shaking in his asshole would be tight every night. You know, like you don't want to be in a situation where you're like thinking about, because we launched this token, that I might go to jail, you know? So
yeah,
I don't know if from a user's perspective, maybe, yeah, there would be some like more interest, but
if they were able to align with the other side in a meaningful way, I think that could drive a lot more interest.
Yeah. Both GCG and PV are doing rad things right now. News would probably be taken more positively in most other projects, but because of that hole they've dug, I've seen nothing but uphill battles from both. Tough. And Extinct is saying he fucks with the idea of doing some extinction event. It really feels like
his name is Extinct, so
there you go. He's predisposed to the extinction event idea.
Yeah.
That it feels like something that's probably easier to say than to do, but it just feels like wipe the slate clean. You know, wipe the slate clean. Don't know what that looks like, but it feels like that because they have been doing some cool shit. Guttercat has been doing, you know, relatively well when it comes to releasing and evolving, but it's not working.
The thing is, I actually think that they are making some good moves. Like Squashman's saying, like both GCG and PV Pixelval are doing some cool things, just not getting a lot of love for it. Yeah. Like I actually think that they have kind of a clear direction that they're going with, like the basketball shoes and collaborations and shit. They've been doing that for a while, and I do think that there's something there. If they can figure out how to translate that into conversions, you know, if they can figure out how to communicate that better and get it out beyond just the normal Web3 crowd that already, you know, like is kind of like, eh.
Here's a play. Here's a narrative to go off of, GIF. And we folks, we got to go. Thank you for tuning in so long here for the episode. I know we're about an hour and 40 minutes in. You guys have been awesome the whole time. What about Guttercat Gang leaning into this rise of sports NFTs and being like the sports fan collectible or collection community, whatever you want to call it? We've seen EA Sports now. We've seen Premier League leaning in this stuff. NBA has obviously dabbled with Top Shot. But what if they lean into that? What if they're the sports collection, sports fan community?
I think so. I think that's really smart. Just like, you know, Moonbirds is trying to be the art collectors alpha group community. If they could be like the alpha group for sports collectibles and like lean in. Yeah. There you go. We just solved your problem, Gutter Cats. That'll be 69 Ethereums right there.
Send it to my wallet, ben.eth. Thank you.
You get nothing or something. .eth is my new wallet address.
Oh, shit. Codas are holding 7.5. Guys, we got to get out of here. Thank you so much for tuning into NFT Live, for tuning into GM Web3 on our Twitter profile that somehow is search banned via Elon Musk, for tuning into the Wild Wild Web podcast. We're, you know, trying to make a living here, man, in Web3, and you guys are supporting us, and it's been a great time, you know, building this community and being able to participate in this industry for so long and so deeply is pretty dope. So it's definitely a fun time for us. Easy in crypto, peace, lads. Later, Easy. What do you got, GIF?
Our vibe, our tribe.
Yeehaw! That's it.
Yeah. I wasn't even... Lil doggy.